Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. I'm H Illustrates. This is another episode on Jazak Projects, AI and everything. Today's episode is called The Spark of Reason. The Spark of Reason is basically like AI. A lot of it is about reasoning. For as long as we've existed, humans have wanted to create life in our own image, not just to copy it, but to understand it. Before the word robot, before artificial intelligence, there were stories of statues that walked, serpents made of gold, and golems that guarded their creators. In every corner of the ancient world, people have asked the question, can thought be built? Can thought be built? Can thought be built? Yeah. Yeah, he's digging into that. Can thought be built? This is the first chapter in the history of artificial intelligence, the spark of reason. In ancient Greece, they told stories of gods who built machines. Hephaestus, the divine blacksmith, forged golden servants who could move and think on their own. They weren't just metal statues, they could speak, learn, and assist their masters in his forge. Another of his creations was Talos, the bronze giant who guarded the island of Crete. He circled the shores 3 times a day, hurling stones at invaders, a mechanical soldier powered by divine ichor flowing through his veins. That's 3,000 years ago. 3,000 years ago, man. And yet, the image feels familiar. A metal body running on an invisible energy, protecting humans from harm. It's an early blueprint of the robot written in myth. Greek poets like Hesiod and Homer didn't know about circuits or code, but they understood the desire to give life to our tools. They also understood the fear. In the myth of Pandora, Zeus orders Hephaestus to craft to craft the first woman, an artificial being built to carry curiosity and chaos into the world of men. When Pandora opens her jar, she releases suffering and disease. Only hope remains. The message is clear. When we create life, we also create consequences. And these weren't the only ancient visions of intelligent machines. In China, an engineer named Yan Shi was said to have built a lifelike automaton for for the Zhao King, a man made of leather and wood who could sing and flirt until the king demanded it be dismantled. Inside were gears, rods, and springs, a clockwork soul. Centuries later, inventors in Tang Dynasty would create mechanical monks and servants that poured wine at banquets. In the Middle East, similar stories emerged, of scholars designing fountains that moved on their own, and mechanical musicians that played for guests. Across cultures, separated by oceans and centuries, humanity was imaging the same thing, a machine thinking thing. Eventually, imagination turned into invention. In the first century, Hero Alexandria wrote about real automata, machines powered by air, water, and hidden weights. He described doors that opened by themselves, coin-operated holy water dispensers, and tiny mechanical theatres where figures moved in sequence. Every movement was pre-programmed through pulleys and gears. It was entertainment, yes, but also an early glimpse of mechanical logic. In the Islamic Golden Age, this fascination became science. The Banu Musa brothers, engineers in 9th century Baghdad, wrote the Book of Ingenious Devices, a catalogue of 100 machines that used valves, levers, and feedback controls. They built self-trimming lamps, water fountains that changed patterns, and even early music machines powered by steam. Then, a few centuries later, Al-Jazari took it to another level. He built elaborate clocks with moving figurines, automata that served drinks, and mechanical peacocks that dispensed water and soap for guests to wash their hands. His designs included rotating drums with pegs, programmable sequences, just like the punch cards that would drive computers hundreds of years later. His, his designs included rotating drums with pegs, with pegs, programmable sequences, just like the punch cards that would drive computers hundreds of years later. What started as myth had now become innovation. Imagine watching that in the 1200s, a mechanical servant carrying a cup across a banquet hall. To the people of that time, it must have felt like witnessing magic, but it was really engineering power, following logic, and that logic was spreading. From Alexandria to Baghdad to China, inventors were turning stories into systems. While inventors built automata, philosophers were trying to understand how the mind itself worked. In Greece, Aristotle asked, "What makes reasoning valid?" He broke thought into formal steps, syllogisms, and in doing so created the first system of logic. Logic turned into structure. If all men are mortal and Socrates is a man, then Socrates is mortal. A clear pattern, input, rule, output. Sound familiar? That's a basic algorithm. It's a basic algorithm, yeah. Input, rule, output. It's a basic algorithm. Monkey, monkey do, monkey see, monkey do, monkey do, monkey see, monkey go. Aristotle even imagined machines that could think. In his book Politics, he mused that if shuffles could weave by themselves, or lyres could play their own melodies, humans would no longer need servants. That's over 2,000 years ago, and he was already predicting automation. Centuries later, the idea of reasoning as a process evolved. In medieval Europe, Raymond Lull built spinning paper wheels inscribed with logic concepts. By rotating them, he hoped to mechanically discover truths about God and the universe. It was crude, but visionary. A literal thinking machine made of wood and ink. That's basically a computer. And in the Islamic world, mathematicians were formalizing reasoning in numbers. Among them was Khwarizmi, Khwarizmi, whose name gave us the word algorithm. So Al-Khwarizmi gave us Al-Khwarizmi, Khwarizmi, 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 Al-Khwarizmi. His name gave us the word algorithm. He created step-by-step rules for solving equations, procedures anyone could follow. He wasn't built physical. He wasn't building physical machines. He was building mental machines. For the first time, thinking was being expressed as a sequence of rules, a recipe for intelligence. Al-Khwarizmi worked through the Islamic world into medieval Europe, shaping the birth of algebra. But more importantly, it gave humanity a way to describe process precisely. You didn't need creativity or intuition to reach an answer. You needed a method, and the method could be taught, repeated, and one day executed by a machine. That's what Gottfried Wilhelm Leibniz realized in the 1600s. He believed all reasoning could be reduced to calculation, that if two philosophers disagreed, they could say, let us calculate. That's similar to my own with Discovery. I got it from Future. Futur YouTube channel, check them out. He built a mechanical calculator, the stepped reckoner, capable of basic arithmetic. But in his mind, it was just the beginning. He dreamed of a universal language of logic, what he called the characteristica universalis, where all ideas could be expressed as symbols and manipulated by rules. He was imagining code centuries before computers existed. Leibniz also studied binary numbers, ones and zeros. He wrote that this simple duality, something and nothing, mirrored creation itself. From that idea, every digital system we use today is built. He was right. The entire digital universe, from AI models to the device you're watching this on, runs on those two symbols. 200 years later, George Boole transformed that dream into mathematics. In 1854, he published the laws of thought, providing proving that logic could be written as algebra. Instead of true and false, he used 1 and 0 and created Boolean logic. Yeah, Boolean. Yeah, I use that tool all the time. Every computer, every circuit, every bit of software is built on that discovery. Every computer, every circuit, every bit of software is built on that discovery. It's a language of reasoning translated into math. Yeah, and the Boolean is too. No, Bose, the Boolean too. Bose equations showed that statements could be combined and simplified just like numbers. He effectively built a bridge between human thought and mechanical operation. Later, engineers realized that the same rules Boole used could control electrical switches. 1 means current flows, 0 means it doesn't. So 1 means current flows, 0 means it doesn't. A network of switches could now perform logic, and logic is what thinking is made of. By the 1800s, inventors even built machines that physically perform Boolean logic. William Gibbons created the logic piano, press a few keys for premises, and the device will reveal the conclusion. That was the first mechanical reasoning engine, the ancestor of the modern computer. Amazing. amazing. When you connect these dots, a clear pattern appears. The myth of Hephaestus is, fuck, ChatGPT kind of went on saying over here, just keeps following the same line we just finished, but we'll carry on. When you connect these dots, a clear pattern appears. The myth of Hephaestus' golden serpents inspired real automata in Greece. Those automata inspired engineers in Alexandria and Baghdad. The mechanisms inspired philosophers like Leibniz, who imagined logic machines. And their logic inspired Bull, whose algebra built the foundation for computers. Every era added one layer of the same dream to make thought tangible. So when we talk about artificial intelligence today, we're not just talking about data and neural networks. We're talking about a story that began 3,000 years ago, kind of, in a way, I guess. This is just going off the way that I talk. ChatGPT is just going doing shit the way I think and talk. Reflections. What these stories tell us is that AI didn't start with computers. It started with human imagination. Every myth of artificial life was really a mirror, reflecting our own curiosity, ambition, and fear. We dreamed of perfect servants and timeless guardians, but we also feared the cost of creating them. From Pandora to Prometheus, from golems to robots, the warning has always been the same. Be careful what you bring to life. Yet here we are, living in an age where machines really do think, learn, and create. We've made the myths real, that's true. We built servants of Hephaestus and with the logic of engines of Leibniz. We've given them names: Siri, Alexa, Gemini, ChatGPT, and just like myths, they help us unsettle. They help and unsettle us. Spark of Reason is not just about machines. Yeah, it's not just about machines gaining intelligence. It's about humanity extending its own. Every time we build a tool to think for us, we're really learning something about ourselves, about what thought, creativity, and life actually mean. So, when we ask can machines think, we're really asking, what does it mean to think at all? So what does it mean to think? Is it really what this computer can do? Because our brain is organic. It's not fucking wires. It's not something you can really switch out. You can switch out bits and pieces of the brains, but you can't switch out the muscle. Fuck. Fucking gets real complicated. This episode of AI and Everything, tracing the origin of artificial intelligence from myth to mathematics. Next week, we step into the age where those ideas finally become real. When war, code breaking, and ambition gave birth to the first true computers. Yeah, ChatGPT knows me so well. But it all began here, with a dream that metal, gears, and symbols could learn to reason. The dream that intelligence could be built. The dream that lit the spark of reason. Yeah, it's happening. Yeah, hope you enjoyed the spark of reason. One of the first of many episodes to come on AI. I reckon we'll do a few hundred episodes on AI, and I'm just going to be reading from ChatGPT. And if you want to check out any of our research that we did around my episodes, I'll post them all on my website, and you can go over to my website and have a look at that if you want. H illustrates over and out.